Clothing didn't start because we were cold. It started because we became aware that other people could see us. Here's what's strange about it. Anatomically modern humans have existed for roughly 300,000 years. But the biological timestamp for consistent clothing use sits at around 170,000 years ago. We were still in the tropics. Warm climate, no glaciers coming, so every explanation you've probably heard, warmth, protection, survival instinct, they all fall apart on the timeline alone. The cold came later, the clothes came first. And if protection drove it, the first thing you'd cover is your feet and hands. They take the most damage. Instead, across almost every early culture, the torso and groin came first. That's not a protection story. And the way we know that timestamp isn't from archaeology, it's from lice. Head lice live in hair. Body lice live exclusively in fabric. They literally can't survive without it. So in 2003, geneticists traced the evolutionary split between the two species like reading a clock. The moment body lice diverged from head lice is the moment humans started wearing clothes consistently enough. Consistently enough for an entirely new parasite to evolve around that habit. That date, approximately 170,000 years ago. Our oldest hard evidence for clothing isn't a needle or a hide-scraping tool. It's a bug that had nowhere else to live. But here's what the lice can't tell us. They tell us when. They don't tell us why. For that, you have to go somewhere most evolutionary biology skips. The moment a human first understood that another human was looking at them. Forget the label. Here's what it actually feels like. You're standing somewhere, and without anyone saying a word, you suddenly understand they can see me. Not just physically, they're forming a judgment. They're building a picture of who I am from what they're looking at. Before that moment, the body was just a body. After it, the body became a message. Your dog doesn't have this? Chimpanzees barely flicker with it? But in our lineage, something switched on. And here's where it gets deeper. In 2009, archaeologist Ian Gilligan made an argument that reframes everything. He said, early humans didn't just wear clothing, they manufactured it. And manufacturing clothing requires a mental move that almost nothing else in nature does. You look at a raw animal hide, and you hold in your mind a future version of yourself wearing it. You imagine what doesn't exist yet. You plan toward it. You delay. Stay with that, because that cognitive move, holding a future self in your head and working backward from it, it's the exact same neural operation behind keeping a promise, planning a meal, worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. The same piece of mental machinery that lets you imagine next Tuesday let your ancestor look at a dead animal and see a garment. No other animal does this, not because they lack hands, because they can't hold the future in your head. Clothing isn't just the earliest artifact of human survival. It might be the earliest artifact of the human mind. And then something else happened. Social groups grew larger. Strangers started meeting strangers. Hierarchies formed. Alliances had to be negotiated without shared language or history. Suddenly, clothing became a transmission system. Before a single word was exchanged, your clothing had already broadcast your rank, your tribe, your threat level. Researchers studying early cultures globally find this consistently. The impulse to dress accelerates when social complexity increases. Not because people got colder, because the social stakes got higher. Clothing became language, one of the oldest forms we have. You were never just covering your body, you were authoring yourself. Tomorrow morning, half awake, you're going to grab something to wear. Your brain's going to run a calculation in under a second. Who am I today? What does this room require of me? How do I want to land when I walk in? That low-grade anxiety when you show up in the wrong outfit, that's not vanity. That's not shallow. That's 170,000 years of social cognition activating in your prefrontal cortex, doing exactly what it was built to do. You've inherited a brain that knows it's being watched, and every morning, without thinking about it, you dress accordingly. The cold was never the point. Being seen was always the point.